Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is the Ramsey Show, and it's where America is hanging out to have a conversation about life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, best-selling author, soon-to-be multi-best-selling author, Christy Wright. Today is the day. She joins us on a very, very busy day and a very important day for all of us at Ramsey Solutions. It is launch day of her brand new book, Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. And so we're here together to take your calls. If you're feeling squeezed, you feel like you just can't spin another plate, this is the hour to call in. It's a free phone call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Of course, we'll take your money questions. We'll take your questions about making more money. We'll take your questions about moving up, advancing, starting something. It is open season, but I just know that this issue, Christy, more so than ever because of access to digital, all the technology that's supposed to make our life easier, feels like it's just making it crazier.
It is, and it's interesting because one of the things I've told people is I've been a certified business coach for over a decade, and the number one question I'm asked through my coaching, through speaking events, whatever, is not a business question. It's this question. Yeah. And I'm asked it by men and women, those with kids, without kids, kids of all ages, single. It doesn't matter. We all struggle with feeling like we don't have enough time. I just need more time. I just need more time. I just need to be more productive, more efficient. I need to multitask better. I need a better app. I need a better morning routine. I'm going to wake up earlier, stay up later. We try all that and we're exhausted, Ken, and we don't feel any more balanced. And so I wanted to tackle this issue that's a major pain point for everyone I know, first of all, but also it's a pain point in my own life with 3 little kids. Like, I get it. And I think that the solution is something different than more productivity and more efficiency. I think that we have a root issue going on. And I think we need to tackle it there if we're going to solve the problem from coming up again and again in the same way. And so that's why I love the tagline, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. So many people walk around every day feeling like they're failing and they're not. And so I want to help them there. As
I've talked to you about the book, watching you write it, watching you develop the content over time, speaking about it, coaching folks, feels like to me that it's really about priority. We have so much hard time deciding between priorities. I think this book gives the backstory, gives the foundation for what really is the problem. Yes. It's not time management.
Yes. Well, and the way that I say it is, this is not just about the calendar. It's about enjoying the life that the calendar represents. And so to your point, so a lot of people that I work with are women, and a lot of people I work with are creatives. This book is not just for women and creatives by any means. But I think one thing that those two groups of people have in common, or really anyone that has a lot of interests, multi-interested people, is we tend to treat everything as if it's created equally. And so our to-do list, our calendar, we can't make decisions between a yes here and a no there because it all feels equally important. And it's not. Is it Patrick Lencioni that said, if everything's important, nothing is? Yeah. And so I don't tell you in this book what is important, but I do what I believe good coaches do, which I ask you a lot of questions that bring that awareness to you for yourself, for you to decide, hey, here's what matters to me in this season. And then I show you tactical steps to align your time with those things. And it turns out that when you do the right things at the right time, you actually feel that sense of balance that you've been looking for. But I want to help you discern what really matters right now from all the other junk that's coming at you all the time. Because we all have a lot of stuff coming at us, and I want to help you sift through that and discern what's most important so you can spend time on those things.
She is Christy Wright. I'm Ken Coleman. We're Ramsey Personalities, and we are your host this hour here on The Ramsey Show. The new book that we're talking about is Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. It hits the market today. In fact, not hits. It's already out there. It's going. And, of course, RamseySolutions.com, everywhere books are sold.
Can I tell you something exciting? I don't know if I've told you this.
This is very exciting.
It's at Target.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
It's at Target.
So here, let's high five on the air because Tyler, your brand leader, told me this. Yes. This is a big deal. So let me just say this. This is very exciting. Head to Target, your local neighborhood Target, to get Christy Wright's book, Take Back Your Time.
This is huge because people may not realize this, but it's very hard to get in Target. Target is also my target market, one of my favorite stores, and I haven't been able to talk about it at all.
Have you been to your local Target yet?
Yes, this morning, first thing, and I screamed and ran up and down the aisle.
Did you buy all the copies?
No, but I did sign them. So if you're in Nashville, I signed them at that Target.
That's fun.
But this lady was walking by when I was in the parking lot, and I was screaming at Target, and she walked by, she said, "I've never seen anyone so excited to go in Target in my life."
Yeah, well, let me tell you why, ma'am.
I know.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's a huge win. It's a huge deal. I've had to keep it top secret until today. But if you go to your local Target, it's on an end cap right there in the book section. And man, that just felt like a huge deal to me. I'm so excited.
I don't know if I need to run by Target tonight, James, but if I might ask Stacy on the way home, babe, you need me to pick anything up, and I'll head on over there, and maybe I'll pose beside the end cap.
There it is.
You should have bought every copy and then stood in line at the register, and everybody that came by goes, "Hey, I'm just want to bless you with this."
Just cause a scene, a little bit of a fun scene.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. So anywhere books are sold, but we were pretty excited because today's the first day I can announce that it is in Targets all over the country, and so you can go get your copy today. And if you do, tag me on social media. I'd love to share it at Christy B. Wright. It's just fun to celebrate that. That's a big deal. People may not realize it, but that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. I want to stay in the content for just a second because I think something you said a minute ago, I think makes me ask the question, is one of the root causes of the stuff you're taking on in this book, Take Back Your Time, is it that we just have a hard time displeasing somebody when in all reality we're not displeasing them, but we think we got to do this, 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 and it's at some point it's like there's only so much you can do, and I keep you've got this, I think, the bumper sticker amazing truth in this entire book, which is chock full of wisdom and knowledge, is doing the right thing at the right time. And I think that we struggle with that as humans, yes?
We do. And what's interesting is it's multifaceted. It's not just one thing like, oh, if I solve this one variable, this will fix all my problems, because there's actually several factors at play. So for example, let's just talk about the people-pleasing aspect of it. And many people struggle with this. They struggle with saying no.
I think that's a huge problem.
We don't want to, we want to be liked and all of that. Well, there's the one element of, okay, let's look at one facet. One facet is we really do want to help. We really do want to help people. So someone needs us, we want to help. There's that one obvious piece. The second piece of it, if you're a person of faith, then you feel called to help. You feel like, hey, I've got to help. I'm commanded to help. So there's this deeper, faith aspect of it. The third one that I think that we don't talk about enough or even are willing to acknowledge enough, and I hit on this in the book, is there is an aspect of our own insecurity that drives us to do things and say yes to things that are not right for us. Not because we're just so loving and helpful, even though that is a piece of it, but because we are trying to earn our place in the world. We are trying to be enough. We think we are our calendar, our to-do list, our productivity. And so I heard someone say years ago, there's a difference between doing something to be loving and doing it to be loved. And if we're willing to get honest with ourselves,
that's good. Some
of us are trying to earn love because it's a deep insecurity in us. Ooh. But what I tell people is the black hole of insecurity can't be fixed by just doing more. You've got to solve this at the root issue. No amount of task on your to-do list is going to fix it.
Wow, that's good, folks. The motive. All right, the new book is Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, available wherever books are sold, but especially on the end cap at your neighborhood Target. Go get it for Christy Wright, but more importantly, get it for you. Don't move, your call's coming up. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my co-host and colleague, Christy Wright. She is the best-selling author of Business Boutique, and now soon to be the best-selling author of Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. It's launch day, so I'm going to talk about it a lot. If you don't like it, I'm sorry that I'm talking about good things. If you don't want to hear
I'm sorry, you don't want to be happy.
I'm sorry. You don't want to grow. You don't want to be successful. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about good things. I don't apologize on the Ken Coleman Show when I talk about good things. I'm not going to apologize here. But anyway, we're very excited as a company. Congratulations,
Thank you.
friend.
Thank you.
Very, very exciting day. But we are here for you, 888-825-5225. The questions that you've come to know and to listen to, you can ask for yourself. Christy and I are going to help you. We enjoy being together. You got two coaches. So let's go. 888-825-5225. Let's start it off in Miami, Florida. Nestor is there. Nestor, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. How's it going? Thank you guys so much for taking my call.
You bet.
So my question for you guys is, right now I'm getting married. I'm planning to get married in October, and so far everything's been set. And so I'm wondering, because I commute to work about an hour, and so I spend a lot on gas and on tolls, but the only kind of down or upside is that, like in the field that I'm in the mental health field. At my job, there's a lot of growth opportunities. And so I'm wondering, should I try to find something better that has like better growth opportunities closer to home, or should I just stay where I'm at and kind of like reap the benefits of all that?
I think it's either or. I think whatever door opens here. I mean, this is not, to me, a choice between one or the other. It's sure, look for something closer to where you're going to be living. And if you can find a better ladder than you currently have, great, take it. But you're also in a place right now where you have a nice ladder. There's plenty of opportunity for growth where you are. So I wouldn't be antsy. I got to tell you, now this is me. I'll let Christy weigh in on this, but a lot of this, to be honest with you, this is just Ken Coleman personal preference. So don't take this as advice. I'm just going to tell you how I'm wired. If I'm in a place where I've got a ladder of opportunity, as you have stated, and it's in the field I want to be in, and it's about the commute, and I get to choose where I want to live, ultimately, I'm going to do everything I can to move a little bit closer. You're starting out a new chapter of life. I don't know if your bride-to-be is open to this, but I'm just telling you that's what I would be considering first and foremost. However, I'd always be looking. Always be looking. I tell people on the Ken Coleman Show all the time, I get this call a lot, Christy. Hey, Ken, I've been with this company 2 years. They've been really, really good to me. I've had a good opportunity here, but I got another opportunity that's better, but I feel bad.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't feel bad. You don't need to feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't break a contract. Don't do anything that's not full of integrity and character. But the reality is, why should you feel bad about taking a great opportunity for yourself? So that's my take on it, Nestor. Christy, anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, no, what I love about your question, Nestor, is you have a few good options. That's a great call. I get discouraged when we get the calls of like, hey, I hate my job. I hate my boss. I need the paycheck. You're kind of feel a little painted in a corner, and you're trying to get out quickly. You're not trying to get out quickly. It's great to keep your options open. Look around. You could look to move, or look for jobs closer to you, or you could stay where you are and make the commute. You have great options, and that's a really good place to be.
Yeah, so take the best option. Again, research. Always be looking, always be considering, always be measuring and weighing. And I think you're going to make a great choice. By the way, congratulations on the upcoming nuptials. Yeah. By the way, there's a word we don't say enough of.
No, I knew you.
I love a good word, and the word nuptials, it's a fun word.
You love a good unused word. You like to bring some words into the vocabulary.
I like to dust off a good word.
You do.
There it is. Boise, Idaho is where we go next. Michael is there. Michael, how can we help?
Hey, Ken and Christy, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just had an annual review at my work, and it went really well, but my raise wasn't quite where I want it to be, or where it really needs to be. So I'm feeling kind of underpaid for the industry, and so I want to go to my boss and negotiate a raise with him, but I'm not really sure the best way to do it. I had kind of two ways in mind, and I just wanted your opinion on which way you think would sort of go over better.
Hit me with a quick summary. Yeah, give us the two ideas you had, and give us the quick version, and we'll weigh in on it.
Okay, so the first one I thought was really just going to him, explaining why I need to make more, why I think I should be making more, and working on him on how I can get there and what needs to be done. which the reason I don't really want to do that is because it kind of feels like it puts me in a corner where then either if he says no, then I'm kind of like, well, it sort of sours that working relationship, and then I'm kind of, it makes things awkward.
So,
and stuff.
Michael, the reason you feel that way is because your feeling is absolutely right that we're going to go ahead and kill idea number one. That's awful. It puts you in a corner. The way you chose to say that is absolutely right. So that's not a good option. What's the second one?
So the other option is there's lots of hiring in my field in the area, and they're paying anywhere from $6 to $8 more an hour. And so my other option was to go and actually apply for those, interview if I need to, and see if I get any offer letters. And then once I have an offer letter, go back to them and say, hey, I have an offer from this other company. Here's what they're paying. Before I go work for them, can you match that?
Yeah. I don't mind that option at all. But I would just add my own option A since we struck your A. And that's this. You just recently had the meeting. How long ago was it? We're talking 48 hours, a week?
About 2 weeks ago.
Ooh, okay.
3 weeks ago.
I would have preferred for you to sit on it for about 2 nights max. I would have in that situation. You can still do this. Go back in and go, hey, listen, I'm really grateful for the bump because you did get a bump. You just didn't get the bump that you wanted.
10%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd go back in and go, hey, listen, thank you for the bump. I'm grateful to be here because I think that's true. I want to be here long term. Yep. I did some homework because when you gave me the bump, I didn't want to assume anything, so I went and did some homework. And I would present the homework at that time. I would present. Yep. And this isn't like a couple comments in the comments section of Glassdoor. This is real market research that shows someone of your experience and your position, what the market is bearing. And you would need to sit down and show them that, go, listen, because you gave me the bump, I'm appreciative, but I went and looked at it and because I was curious, and this is where I sit based on what I do and the experience level I bring to the table. Would you be willing to take it up to this point? Because I feel like that's something that you should at least consider. You're humble about it. You just go, hey, would you consider? Don't say what I just said. Sorry, I was formulating a thought. Right. Just say, look, I would ask you to consider this information. I've done the research on what someone gets. I am grateful for what you gave me, but I would like to be in this range. See, what you're saying there is I would like, there's no demand, there's no I deserve, I should. Let's remove any of that language, because what you don't want to do is put your leader on the defensive. You want your leader to go, Michael's a very well-informed person and went and looked, and you know what? He gave me something to think about. And then it's almost like, what can I do to get to this number? Because here's why you're doing this, Michael. You want to see where the leader's position is on paying you that comp. Do they think that you, in their mind, deserve what the market says you should be getting? I want to know that. I want to know where I stand.
Well, and one of the things I would jump in here, Ken, one of the things I learned from you years ago, but you may not remember this, even before you worked on our team here at Ramsey, you did a devotional for us, but you talked about the importance of asking questions. And Michael, when you ask questions, I learned this straight from Ken Coleman right beside me. It demonstrates not only interest and engagement, it demonstrates humility. So when you ask a question, you're taking a posture of humility in what can be an awkward conversation. So I might even ask something as you present the research and say, hey, can you help me understand why my position and my comp does not match what the industry standard is, or what the comps are out there, or the value that I bring based on my production. All your employer cares about is market, what's comp in the market, and what value you're bringing. They don't care what you need. So we're going to focus on the facts, like Ken said, of what's standard in the market and what you bring to it. But you could ask that as a question, like, hey, help me understand why I am here, and this is what's going on out there. And then that will lead to a great discussion, I think.
Yeah, just guard putting them on the defensive.
Yes.
That's what you don't want to do. And here's the deal. If you're going to go shop other jobs and they give you an offer, you better be ready to leave. Mm-hmm. Because doing that as a negotiation tactic, I think, is a bad move.
Yeah, that's good.
You got to be willing to go.
It's true.
So don't go in there with a tactic and then fold. Ooh, that'd be dangerous. All right, folks, don't move. Before you know it, Christy Wright and I will be right back. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright. Thrilled to have you with us. 888-825-5225. Do you feel like you're constantly running, but nothing you do ever moves the needle in your money, in your life? Well, that's normal, and normal's frustrating and exhausting, but you can live the life you want when you're debt-free, where you actually have breathing room in your time and your money. But you got to have a game plan, and that's why we at Ramsey Solutions want you to join us for Game Plan Live. This is a free live stream on September the 28th. Dave Ramsey, Christy Wright, and George Camel will help you set the foundation that makes all your goals possible. You don't have to settle for a life of normal. Get the plan that gets you where you want to be. To register for this game-changing event, Game Plan Live, text Game Plan to 33789. That's Game Plan, all one word, 33789. Text Game Plan to 33789. All right, to the phones we go. Chattanooga, Tennessee, where Teresa joins us. Teresa, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on today, Teresa?
This is for you, Ken.
All
and
right.
Maybe, well, Christy, you can jump in too.
I'm sure she
I would
might.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do you do when your calling, your passion, is in a field that doesn't pay what you need to make to pay your monthly bills?
All right. Tell me more. What's the calling? What's the field?
Okay, it's the dogs at the animal shelter and the Humane Society. I volunteer every chance I get. I work full time, but they make me so happy. I mean, I want to work there, but I ask them if they have openings, and they say, "Sure, it pays $10 an hour." Oh,
Okay.
I just wish I could be there all the time and make a living.
All right. So
helping the dogs.
Okay, I got it. All right. All right, Christy and I are going to
Okay.
put our heads together here. I'm feeling pretty confident we can come up with something, but I need to know,
Okay.
what is make a living? Give me a number. What do you need to make?
Well, right now I'm making about $34,000 a year. It's a humble job, but I don't hate it.
What's the
I'm
job?
a courier. I'm a courier. I drive around all day for a medical lab. So.
Okay, great. How much research have you done into the field of pet care? Let's just call it pet care. I know you love dogs, but there's probably some other animals you love too. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, just generally you love animals. So,
Yes.
So what we've got to figure out, Teresa, is how do we make more money than $10 an hour? Let's just keep the bar really low. But what if, Teresa, what if you stayed in this courier job, which you don't hate, and it's a pretty stable job, and we could add maybe $10,000, $15,000 over the next 12 months to the 34, and you're loving on dogs? How would you feel about that if we just added $10,000 to $15,000 as a side hustle or a part-time job to what you already make? How would you feel about that?
I would be very, very happy.
Great. Do you believe that you can do that, Teresa? Yes or no? Be honest.
I've thought about it, Ken, and I can't come up with anything and keep my full-time job.
What's your hours as the courier?
Okay, I clock in at 9:30 a.m. and I get off at 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
The good news is I've got Christy right next to me, who is an idea factory along with me, and between the two of us, it's combustible. Christy, I'm having a hard time believing Teresa. I think there's some side stuff on the weekend, taking care of animals, checking on animals maybe at night, boarding some dogs overnight. I think there's a way for her to get started where she may not see it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting because when you start to brainstorm, Teresa, how you can do what you want to do, what you're excited about in lots of different ways, then you realize there are multiple paths to get to this place where you're doing what you love and making money doing it. Let's just throw out one, for example, one that we haven't talked about. What would it look like to meet your end goal of being with animals, like Ken's talking about, and not necessarily through the shelter, where you started a side business of a doggy daycare, of a dog walking, dog care, whatever? There's multiple ways to look at this. For example, and I remember someone calling in the Ramsey Show years ago, and they said, I really want to be a teacher, but I can't live on a teacher's salary. And Dave said, well, I'm a teacher. There's a lot of ways to be a teacher. You don't have to be a teacher in a school. So just zoom out, Teresa. I want you to zoom out. And I just got a challenge for you. I want you to write down every possible iteration, every version of ways to make money doing what you love that do not include the shelter. Some of them will be good ideas, some won't be good ideas, some will make money, some won't. Some you could do part-time, full-time, on the side, your own business, working for someone else. I just want you to make a list of as many ideas as you can think of, and I guarantee you there's at least 20 ways for you to be with animals and make good money. And that's just at your first draft of this list. Okay.
So Teresa, here's the deal. Chrissy's absolutely right. I need you to stop thinking about an opportunity at the current SPCA. They're very limited. Okay. What you got to be thinking about and listen, I know the Chattanooga area. It's a great area, surrounding area.
Yes.
Okay. Now listen, I don't know if you've looked up what it costs to board a dog, but it's big dollars. There are pet hotels. There are pet stores that may have a part-time job. Here's what I want you to grasp, okay? I wrote a book a couple years ago called The Proximity Principle. All right, now here's what it says, Teresa. I want you to grab this. In order to do what you want to do, all right, work with dogs. You got to be around people that are doing that and in places where it is happening. You've only been to the SPCA. As my colleague Christy accurately pointed out, you're limiting your entire perspective to the SPCA, as opposed to who's making the bucks boarding dogs all over the greater Chattanooga area. Come on, Teresa. You ought to have a list of 3 to 5 of those before you go to bed tonight. Yes?
Wow.
Yes,
I never thought of that.
I know. It's why you called. But listen, now listen, here's the rest of it. I also got to get around people, not just places. So those are the places. But it's not enough to just get a list of places and then start applying. No. You want to start to ask yourself, all right, now that I've got a list of 5 dog hotels, whatever. Oh, let me tell you something. Teresa, don't even forget the people that come out to your house. I've got a gal that comes out and takes care of Ellis, the golden doodle, once a month. And she comes up to our door, gets Ellis, takes him to the van, spends an hour and a half with him, and comes back in a brand new dog. She's killing it in a van.
Not the dog, to be clear.
No, she's not killing the dog. Right. And she's not in a van down by the river either. Right. She's really killing it. So here's the deal. I want you to think about, who do I know, Teresa? I want you to ask this question after you get your list of 3 to 5, maybe 7. I want you to think, who do I know in my life that's close personal connections, family, friends. Now, let's go acquaintances. My kids play soccer. My kids do this. My kids do that. I go to church with these people. I'm over here in the Bunko Club, whatever it is. Everybody I know, do those people know anybody that works at any of those organizations? Now we begin to dial in. Oh, you know somebody over there? Yeah, I know somebody over at Paws and Claws. Great. Can I have coffee with them? Yeah, I'll set it up for you. And the next thing you know, you're meeting people that are working in that space. And so now, Teresa, you're top of mind the first time they have a college kid quit on them and they need somebody to pick up 20 hours. Your answer right now is abso-freaking-lutely, I'll be there.
Yes.
And now, Teresa, here's the path. I get in.
Right.
I get in, and then I think about moving up. But see, you're treating this whole transition as an all or nothing. I'm leaving courier to go full-time dogs, and that's rarely how it happens. So I hope that encourages you. You know exactly what to do now. There's no excuse.
Let's send her both of our books. We'll send you Proximity Principle and Business Boutique, and Ken's going to help you exactly what he said in Proximity Principle, being in the places and being around the people.
That's very nice.
And then Business Boutique, if you just start a side gig doing this, Business Boutique will be the plan. You'll have both. We'll come at from both angles.
I got to add one thing.
Okay.
She needs your new book, Take Back Your Time, because what we just prescribed to her is a lot of work.
She's going
to feel a little frazzled.
She's going to need some time. Send her all the things. Teresa, you're getting a whole box of books.
All the things. You're getting a suite. Business Boutique, in case you want to start that doggy daycare on the side. Yeah. Christy will tell you how. Take Back Your Time. This will help you stay sane in the midst of this hustle season. And then the Proximity Principle, the ultimate secret to connections which lead to opportunities. There you go. Oh my goodness, folks, this is why you call the show. You never know how much free goodies you're going to get. We love giving away Dave's stuff.
We do. We're very generous with his things.
Yeah, I have a spiritual gift of giving away all of Ramsey Solutions resources. All right, don't move. More of the Ramsey Show coming up just around the corner. Welcome back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright. Today's a big day for Christy and for the entire company because her latest book, Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, is out everywhere books are sold, RamseySolutions.com. Tons of great stuff for bundles. But as she announced earlier in the hour, it's a big deal. Nobody besides Dave, to my knowledge, has ever been in Target, and she is at the old Target in your local neighborhood, in cap and everything.
Yeah.
So
big deal. Big deal.
I think it would be fun. I did not talk to Christy about this ahead of time, but I don't need to. I think if you're a Christy Wright fan like me, you know what you need to do? You got to make a trip to your local Target, even if it's to get some anti-bac wipes, because we always need more of those, and take a picture beside the old end cap and tag Christy at Christy B. Wright on Insta.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
It will be fun.
That would just lift your heart, wouldn't it?
It would. It makes it so real. Man, we love Target.
I got to get there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I got to get out there. I don't know if it'll be tonight.
Yeah.
It's Taco Tuesday. We have football practice and many things.
Sure.
But I'm going to get out there by the end cap and I'm going to post it. So
go to Target for your copy of the book and then just do what you always do, which is spend $200 worth of other things we don't actually need, which is what we all do at Target.
Or, good call. Oh, you know what? I just realized a great marketing pitch for this.
I go in for a toothbrush and come out with some clothes.
Instead of buying all the things you don't need,
there you go.
Buy 3 copies of your book.
Okay. I like where your head's at, Ken. I appreciate
it. 2 to somebody else.
There you go. Christmas gifts.
I don't know. Just carry them around and you see the frazzled mom.
Yep.
Guys, here, ma'am. I think you need this.
Yep.
Just read this. You know what I mean? Like it's a devotional. Just kind of hand it out here. Just read this.
There you go.
I think you need this. So fun stuff. All right. The phone number is 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. We're taking your calls on everything. Money. We'll take it on the life balance and time. We'll take it on, hey, my work, Ken. I want to do work that I love, but also make a bunch of money. I want to make more money. I want to get that shovel bigger so I can get out of debt faster, get through the baby steps faster. We'll take all of those calls. And Jason joins us now in Orlando, Florida. Jason, how can we help?
Hey, first off, it's great to talk to both of you guys. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're having a blast. What's going on? Did you hear that Christy's in Target, Jason?
I don't feel like we've talked about it enough.
Yeah.
That's all right.
What's going on?
My question for you guys, we're on baby step 2. We're about 6 months into our journey. My big concern is with our house, we're looking at possibly replacing the AC unit within a year or so. So that's a cost that's going to be in the forefront. And my wife is from England. So we're actually planning a trip to go next year to England for her brother's wedding for the 3 of us. So that's going to be a trip that we're obviously going to be going to. And my biggest question is with breaking down to only $1,000 in this emergency fund, how do we plan these trips? How do we put things on pause to plan for this vacation / wedding next year? How do we plan our AC unit? Hopefully going to be replaced soon. Just makes us a little bit nervous, drop it down to only that $1,000.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. And here's the way that you're going to approach something like an AC unit or even obviously a family wedding, which is a really big deal, is it's exactly like you just said, Jason. You're going to pause paying extra on your debts and you're just going to stockpile cash. But I do want to encourage you, just because you're pausing the baby steps temporarily and you're stockpiling cash so that you can cash flow your AC unit and you can cash flow this family member's wedding and that type of thing, we're not going to use this as an excuse to just have a big time and spend thousands of extra dollars on this trip. Just keep in mind, you're still broke. You're still in debt. And I don't say that to make you feel bad. I say that to light a fire under you. Go, okay, how can we get this AC unit, get a really good deal, make it last as long as we can before we replace it, and so on? How can we make this trip for our family in the wedding, in another country on a budget? How can we be resourceful and not see this as a vacation where we're just going to splurge and stay at the nice place because, we're on vacation. People kind of lose their minds on vacation. Like, money is free on vacation. And then they make dumb decisions. So as long as you keep in check, hey, these are 2 necessary expenses. We're going to cash flow them so we don't go into debt for them. And we're going to get right back on track with baby step 2 whenever we cash flow them. And by the way, if, budget for what you need for the AC unit, get multiple quotes from vendors, find a good deal that is fair, figure out your timing of when you absolutely really need it, and then save that amount of money. Same thing for the trip, price that out. What are flights? Where are you going to stay? What do you need for that? Once you get that amount of money, Jason, you're right back in baby step 2, even if you don't need the AC unit or the haven't gone on that trip for the wedding yet. So we're not gonna just keep piling cash above and beyond what we need. Get realistic with what you need for both of those. Save that amount of cash so you can cash flow them when they happen, and then you are right back into baby step 2. And it is a small setback from the progress on your baby steps and becoming debt free, but these are necessary, and that's the big distinction that we try to help people understand. Saving for having a baby when you're pregnant, or saving for you lost a job. So there's things that, you save for a car. We don't want you to go into debt, so you need to stockpile some cash for those things, but just the amount that you really need. So, great
Jason,
question.
I'm curious about the health of the HVAC AC unit. How bad is it? Has someone looked at it and said, this thing's going to go at some point soon? I'd like to know more about this. I have a method to my madness. What's the status?
I'm curious.
That's right. So we moved into the house just over 4 years ago, and it was something on the inspection that was hey, this is kind of on its way out. Make sure to keep an eye on it. And then we just had it break down about 3 or 4 months ago, and it was a look to where we got lucky. It was just a small clog in the drain. But the insides are broken to the point where nobody's actually going to work on it because they're worried about it going kaput on them. So nobody's going to touch it, and when it eventually goes, it's going to go.
Okay.
So they expected the device is from like 2000 or 2002.
Yeah.
And in Florida years, that's a lot of years for a unit.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
sounds
so
like you've done your homework.
Yeah, so okay, that's really good. But here's where I was going with this. I would go ahead and stack the money up and go ahead and do it. But I'm the guy who tries to get the money stacked up, but still lets the sucker run until it dies.
100%. That's what
Don't
we're doing right now.
replace it now.
Ours is going out. We just keep putting more coolant in it until it's literally dead.
Until it,
we're getting that thing as far as we can go.
That's right. So Jason, I just wanted to make sure you've done your homework. I think that you've got a couple of opinions on that, so you know. So my point is, while you're saving, everything Christy said is spot on. I just want you to go. Sometimes these people scare us.
Mm-hmm.
And these home inspectors, oh my goodness. Listen, I know some home inspectors, they do really thorough work, but their job is to be thorough and find everything wrong.
Yep.
And I'm the guy who goes, okay, so you're telling me this is going to die pretty soon? Yes, sir, Mr. Coleman, that's what I'm telling you. Okay, do you have any idea when it's going to die? Of course not. Could be 6 months, could be a year and a half. Great!
So you're saying there's a chance
it
could last forever.
I'm not replacing it until it's dead.
Until you have to.
So I'm going to work hard to have the money saved up.
That's right.
But I'm going to let that baby go and
Same.
go and go and go and go.
We've honestly been doing that at our house for about a year and a half. Like
Really?
It's the same. Yeah.
You and Matt are out there with the old coolant, and you're just like,
we just keep putting coolant.
why not?
I think next
How much
year
does a jug of coolant go
I
for
have
these
no
days?
idea. I have no idea. But I'll tell you, I think next year's the year we really have to replace it. But it's the same concept. This is not like a used car where you're like, okay, I want to have some resale value, that type of strategy, which you could justify. This AC unit, like, you're going to run it into the ground until it is dead and you can't even pray it back to life, and then you get a new one. Like, you get every mile out of it as you can, especially when you're in debt, especially when you're like, I've got to scrape by to save up this to cash flow it. You don't let, to your point, don't let someone come in and go, oh, you need a new one. You're like, oh, I got to get a new one. And then you get the Cadillac of AC units and you don't have the money.
You got to be careful because, listen, I can't tell. I'll give you a story, a really recent story. So we had our air ducts cleaned. All right. This is a thing you don't think about much.
No.
Let's get the air ducts cleaned.
I've never thought of that in my life.
Really? It's really good. It's good for you.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But they'll come in, and so I'm at work. The guy comes, does all the stuff, looks at it, gives Stacy a quote, and he's like, he's got 3 or 4 things that I've never heard of in my life. And
you need
it
to replace
sounds like if we don't do it,
right, you're probably going to die.
We're going to die in our sleep.
Yeah.
And it's just so extreme and so over the top. I'm like, okay, thanks. Tell you what, let me think about it. So I call my father-in-law, who happens to be a home contractor, a builder.
Yeah. He's
He's like, yeah, you don't need that, or that.
Yeah.
But the way it sounded, it was as if we were breathing in toxic air on steroids.
Yeah.
So just be careful. Don't let people scare you. Get multiple opinions, multiple quotes, and then save up for it. So there you go. All right. Hey, I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer and call screener, Kelly Daniel, my colleague, Christy Wright. Congrats on launch day. Take back your time. The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. Go get it everywhere books are sold or at your neighborhood Target. But mostly, we want to thank you, America. We do this show for you. This is The Ramsey Show.
have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life. We're talking real stories, real men and women, hopeful, practical steps forward to being and doing who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, money, work, relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. We are together this hour taking your calls, 888-825-5225. So, Doc, let's set the table, shall we?
Set it.
We can do a little Dr. John Deloney show. We'll talk about mental health, emotional health, marriage issues. We'll talk about, how about this one? Toxic workplace garbage. Oh, John and I love to team up on that.
What's a toxic workplace, Ken? Those don't exist anywhere.
Don't exist at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not at all. Crappy leaders that are making you consider changing your entire career lane. Is that necessary? The emotional junk at work. John and I love to team up on that because that's his area, in the area of mental and emotional health. I'm over here in the area of purpose and doing what you were created to do. Of course, we'll take your money questions, relationship questions. Here's one. Been getting a lot of traffic, James, the producer's telling me. People asking questions. Hey, Ken, my company is going to mandate the vaccine. For various reasons, I don't want to do it. That means I might lose my job. I'm expecting to lose my job. What do? I'm getting that call regularly on the Ken Coleman Show. Does that come to you on the Dr. John Deloney Show?
Yeah.
So John and I can help you with that, because that is not just that's not a work career question. There's all kinds of stuff there. There's the emotional, the mental duress, the financial decisions you got to make.
Yep.
This is a tough choice that's being brought your way. So we'll take those questions. Here's what we're not going to do. We're going to get into a political argument over it. We're going to help you navigate the future, the steps ahead. So we're opening it up. It's about you. We're here for you. 888-825-5225. Let's start it off with Tyler, who joins us now in Salt Lake City, Utah. Tyler, how can we help?
Hey, John. Hey, Ken. Thanks so much for taking my question.
You bet. What's up?
So I'm 22 years old, and I'm working full-time right now and then doing school online. And I'm at the point in school where I should really be deciding and locking in on a career or a focus on what I'm studying and going into. But at this point in time, I'm really not sure. I can't really navigate which path I like to go down or what career I like to go into. So my question is, how should I go about deciding that? And then how much should I really allow money to influence that decision of how much I'll be making in that career?
Yeah, so money matters. Let me just start with that.
Yeah.
But I would never let the amount of money that I could make be the ultimate decision maker. Is it a part of the decision? Yes, but not the ultimate decision maker. And I'll start with this, Tyler. I can't tell you how many phone calls I've taken on the Ken Coleman Show, here on the Ramsey Show, where somebody has taken a promotion because it was a lot of money and it was a big bump. And then they got over there and they realized, man, I'm miserable. And that happens all the time. The data that's out there on Wall Street millionaires that are really good at their job and making a killing, and they're miserable, and as a result, they're moving into depression, they're moving into addiction, all kinds of things. I'm going to tell you something. You got to love the work, or at some point, if you don't love your day job, you better have a side job or a hobby that's very, very meaningful to you. You got to have some purpose in what you're contributing. So I would consider what your options are from a pay standpoint, but never let it be the deciding factor. So let's get practical. You're in school, you're in a major. I'm guessing you have a couple of ideas as it relates to paths that you're considering? What are those? Well, give me the ones that are the most exciting to you right now. You spend the most time thinking about.
Well, something in the business realm, whether that's starting a company or my girlfriend's father is an accountant, so something around that area. It doesn't sound super exciting, but something that I potentially might be going into. But like I said, I'm still kind of trying to decipher.
Yeah, I get it. But Tyler, I got to ask you, why did you go into school? What was something that you thought, you know what, this could be exciting work? Has there ever been a point where you said, you know what, as I look to my future and I wonder a little bit, what did you wonder about? What have you wondered about?
Well, I was originally going into school for psychology I wanted to be a counselor, like a therapist.
Why?
Because I do love to help people, and I'm pretty good at listening and trying to give them good advice or help them understand their situation better.
Have you moved on from that?
I think I only did because the school down the road the extra school kind of threw me off.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Let's pause that. What was the driving reason behind your interest in psychology and helping people? Specifically, the problems that people have that draw you in, that led you that direction? Anything from your personal journey or observation, experience?
Yeah, I would say probably experience.
Are you comfortable sharing that?
Yeah, so I actually, my mom had me see a counselor growing up, just with family matters, with siblings and family in and out of different treatment centers and everything.
Yep.
And I think just as a child growing up, having someone to talk to and not only to listen to you, but to, help you navigate through, whatever craziness you're going through.
Yeah, you had somebody in that role that still means a lot to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me oversimplify this. If I could fast forward the schooling necessary to be a professional licensed counselor, I want John to jump in here. That's his training. But if I could fast forward that process, money, time, you didn't have to go into debt to do it. How high up the ladder would that be as your choice? Would you even be calling me right now?
Yeah, definitely not.
You wouldn't be calling me?
No.
Why?
Because I think that ending destination point is, ultimately where I want to be. And I think it's the journey, the long journey to get there is kind of what.
All right, so I want to turn it over to my colleague who knows a little something about the journey. And John, you can steer him there. It's not as long and not as expensive as he thinks.
How old are you, man?
I'm 22.
So here's the question you have to ask yourself. When I'm 27, which you're going to be, do you want to be 27 and working for your father-in-law as a miserable accountant? Or do you want to be a licensed counselor? Because you're going to be 27 either way. And you're either going to take a journey. Here's what you have to do. You have to choose your hard. Do you want to choose a challenging? And I hope it is rigorous and challenging. I want counselors that are well-trained. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. It's going to push you. And you're going to accomplish it. And you're going to achieve it because you love it. Or do you want the hard of working for your father-in-law, moving spreadsheets around?
And watching your soul be sucked out of your chest into the spreadsheet you're looking at.
Go to school for what you want to do and go help a whole community of people get better. We need you, man.
Tyler, you said if you knew you could do it quickly and easily, you wouldn't even have called us. Go do what your heart is pounding for you to do. And hang on the line. Kelly, let's give him a copy of Debt-Free Degree. Let's give him some resources to show him how he can get that counseling degree.
Do it!
He can cash flow without debt and help people that are hurting. Love you, Tyler. This is The Ramsey Show.
Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, America. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. We're taking your calls about money. We're taking your calls about your work. Hey, you want to make more money? You want to move? John, this is very interesting. I'll share this a little bit later. I'll tell you what. I'll tease this. James, I'm going to pull it up and then a commercial break. Coming up, I'm going to give you some new data about how many Americans, this is going to blow your mind, are actually considering changing jobs. It's a striking number. I'll just tease that and leave it alone, and we'll get to that.
And
it's fascinating. We're going to talk about it.
On the back end of that, there's some really important psychology on the back of it.
Yeah, I want to talk about
it. Let's get into that. That'll be good.
I'm really excited to get your take on it. I mean, because here's what I can tell you: the pandemic has led to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for you to see the numbers.
Shook the snow globe.
Well, the numbers have expanded dramatically from where they've been for probably the better part of a decade. So we'll get to that.
Cool.
That's going to be a fun conversation. So we'll take your calls. 888-825-5225. Hey, you got some relationship stuff, some mental, emotional health. I mean, how many out there have just been burning it at both ends and you feel like you got nothing left in the tank?
Or you feel like you and your spouse are great co-managers.
Ooh, I like this one.
But the spark has left the building.
How about the coworker that has got you to the point where you feel like you can't come back into the office?
Yeah.
Stealing your joy.
That's how I feel
when you're with me.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So John and I are going to actually talk about it together. That's also going to be a great
We're going to have a relational debrief here.
We'll take those calls. So we'd be thrilled to talk with you. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Drew now in Monterey, California. Drew, you're on the Ken Coleman. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, there's a Freudian slip. I've done that before. Have you done that yet?
It's not Freudian.
It's not Freudian. What is that slip?
Just you're not.
Habit.
Yeah. There you
you're
go.
on the Ramsey Show.
There you go.
Is the actual show we're on today. Drew, how can I help?
How you guys doing?
We're doing good. What's up?
I'm just wondering how I should determine how much I should take a position for. There's a $20,000 gap, just say like 50 to 70 a year or 60 to 80. And I'm just trying to determine how much I should ask for.
Well, give me a little. Okay, so I heard the 50 to 70 and the 60 to 80. Help me out a little bit more. Have you actually been offered the position?
Well, it's just a few positions. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to take, but my dilemma is just picking a number, I guess, when they really ask. Something that's going to benefit me because it's a 20-minute drive and I work in agriculture, so there's usually overtime and long days. So I'm just trying to wonder how much.
Okay, so
I'm fairly young. I'm out of college, so.
Okay, and one more quick question, and I'm going to give you something to think through. Are all of these positions that you're applying for, are you actively applying? Or are you just considering? Have some of these been offered? What's the status that you're looking at?
Actively applying, and I have 2 offers right now.
Okay, so let's talk in terms of the 2 offers. Are both of those 2 offers, are they a very similar position?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Have you done your homework? It sounds like you have. On the range of salary for somebody of your experience in those jobs?
Yeah, I have. It's kind of tough because some people get paid that with no experience. I mean, no education, just experience.
Right. And you've got some education.
Yeah, I want to say it's somewhere in between, but...
Okay, so let's give me the number that it's in between. Give me a range.
Okay, 50 to 70. So I'm thinking like I would really like to get 65, knowing it's like I'm going to have to do some overtime and.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's how we simplify this. If your goal is 65, you'd be really happy with 65. So what we look at is we go. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go. No. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, if we're going to be really pleased with 65, and you would be happy with 65, yes.
I mean, I would really be happy with 80. I mean, the more money, the better.
Drew, we got to deal in reality, young man. Okay, you're really, really young. So let me put this a different way. If the range is 50 to 70, and you're straight out of college with very little experience, you need to be realistic.
I have 4 years, though.
4 years. I'm sorry.
Position? Yeah, I'm sorry, too. I left some stuff up. The position requires, like, a couple things I don't have, like Spanish, and really that's it.
Okay, well, hold on a second, brother. If it requires Spanish and you don't have it, how are we going to get the gig? How have they offered it to you?
Well, like, I usually have no problem communicating with people who speak speak Spanish. I know a little bit of Spanish. I'm not fluent though.
Okay.
Drew, I wouldn't hire you, just so you know. You'd come ask for money, and I would say...
Yeah, I'm so confused as to how you got offered the job when they're requiring Spanish. So let's just start it. Here's the general advice for anybody who is looking at a range of salary. Let's just keep it simple. All right. When there's a range, 50 to 70, and I love this as a real-life example, you've got to look at the data out there that shows what the average is for somebody of your experience. You said 4 years, I believe. So you want to look at that, and let's just say that that's in the 58 to 60 range. I think you could go a little bit above that in the asking, but I wouldn't go much. Right. Because I think if you do that, you're running the risk of missing a really good opportunity. And when you're young, and it sounds like he is, I didn't get into the family responsibilities, but I'm looking at the number that for me is bottom basement, to where I'm going to feel yucky if I'm being realistic. There's the big asterisk, John. Got to be realistic. I'm young. I'm 4 years into the world. Okay. But I've got this number where I go, that's going to feel bad. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm also not going to give him this high number. So whatever that number is, you got to decide on, this is my walk-away number. And then you can go a little bit above that. Don't go to the high range. Because if you're looking at the range, 50 to 70, and you've looked up and the evidence says it's about 58 is what people are making, don't ask for 65.
Right.
I'm okay with 60.
Well, and some of those ranges are a range.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
John, I love the law of averages. There's something there.
Well, and my tendency is I see 50 to 70, and I think, you know what I am, Ken? I'm a snowflake. I probably deserve 75. And
that's what he said, basically.
And then I spend it in my head.
Yeah.
And then they come in and offer me 56, which is a stretch for them.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're ripping me off.
Right. And by the way, the 56 is right in line.
Yeah.
So here's the point. Do your homework on what the real averages are for somebody that has your level of experience.
And what about the other side where you got to know how much money you need to bring in as well?
Well, there's no question. That's what I'm saying. The first thing we do before we ever do...
Like, can I take this job?
Before we ever do our range research, we basically say, this is the bottom level. Yeah. So for you and I, we've got a wife and kids. You and I've got a number. We're going, no matter what we're doing, this is the number I got to make. And so we start there.
Yeah.
And so a young man like this who wants to go into this kind of field and he's got all these different options, you don't have to take your first option either. But don't price yourself out. Now, what's interesting, John, about this particular job market, and I know you've read this, but we are in a place where we've got 10.4 million jobs available. Now, that's the whole gamut. So not all of those are great jobs. Let's put the asterisk out on that. 8.3 million people unemployed. The federal unemployment insurance benefit ran out in the 26 remaining states that were offering it on Labor Day. So we will see where we are in another month with the jobs report. But there is still a white-hot opportunity in a lot of places where companies are offering college tuition, part, full-time, signing bonuses. So the point is doing your research and seeing the range of what's available, but then not overselling. Don't overshoot what could be a massive opportunity to get in.
Especially for $3,000. Or especially, and man, I don't mean to ruffle feathers, but kind of I do, especially for your ego. If you've been working for 4 years and you have your degree and you look at somebody and say, I got to even have a degree. I should be making way more than...
Yeah.
That's ego. That's right. You don't know how they're connected, what kind of skill set, et cetera, et cetera. So, get in there, get your job, man, and then work real hard and be really fun and encouraging to be around, and you're not going to have to worry about money for very long.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, there's this something about youth, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
The expectancy. But you got to be careful. That expectancy doesn't turn...
We got a job where it requires Spanish. I can
do that.
I'm good. I can communicate.
Do you know Spanish? Are you fluent? No, but I'm able to communicate with colored pencils and paper. What? I don't know. Interesting stuff. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. He is Dr. John Delaney. I'm Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. We're taking your calls this hour, 888-825-5225. How many times in the past year have you heard someone say, I just wish things would get back to normal? But what was normal like for you? Were you worried about money? Too much to do, not enough time to do it? You shouldn't have to go back to that when there's so much better ahead. But in order to do that, you need the right game plan. So we want you to join us for Game Plan Live. This is our free live stream on Tuesday, September the 28th. Dave Ramsey, Christy Wright, and George Camel will be laying out the clear plan to make all of your money goals happen, like how to find a vision that gets you excited, how to set healthy boundaries that keep you focused. You can have the abundant, balanced, debt-free life you want, and it all starts at Game Plan Live. To register for this free live stream event, text the word Game Plan to 33789. That's Game Plan, all one word. Text that word Game Plan to 33789. 888-825-5225. John, I want to take this. I want to take a quick snapshot of where we sit right now. We're obviously in a very interesting time in the American workplace. And quick context: the average American does 90,000 hours at work in our lifetime. So if you take sleep and work,
that's basically it.
You got a little bit of time to squeeze in the family, right? And sporting events and all the things, the hobbies, the music, and all the things. It's just amazing. And so there's a recent story here on CNBC. I talked about this yesterday on the Ken Coleman Show. The economists are calling this year of 2021 the Great Resignation.
What do they mean by that?
The amount of people that are considering and actually leaving their positions.
To go do something else?
To go do something else.
Okay.
Here's the backstory. I'm just going to hit a couple of things here, and then I want to dive in a couple of questions here. Moneypenny did this report. They found that a whopping 93% of Americans said they aren't currently pursuing a dream career, the American dream. Fascinating. There's a lot there. Very interesting stat. Then 60% of people are rethinking their career. 1 in 3 are actually considering leaving their job. So you got job, then people leaving totally different career paths. And the statement made about the study is there's a crisis of identity.
Yep.
And listen to this, one last piece of data. As many as 95% of workers would consider the job change, and 92% are willing to switch industries. So there's all this willingness, considering all these different numbers coming out. Bottom line is, you and I were talking about this during the break. I'm the guy that's always preaching purpose. You were created to fill a unique role in your work. You are needed, you must do it. But a role could be multiple jobs, multiple career paths, as long as you're using your talent to do work you love, passion, to produce results, that there's some deep meaning in the results. When I hear these stats, I wonder how much of this is poor leadership, one-on-one relationship with a leader and somebody, just awful leadership that you and I know there's a massive leadership crisis. I wonder how much of this is overall cultures that have been affected by the pandemic changes. There's some leadership implications there as well. I wonder how much of this is, you know what? I saw a lot of people die. I saw massive change in my own life. And I now want to embrace the rest of the change that I was previously unwilling to change, because I see how precious life is. I see how much it really matters to me to do something I love. I mean, there's a lot there. I'm trying to give you the cornucopia of what I think is going on.
And then when you look at depression, you look at anxiety, you look at any number of psychiatric disorders, and one of the cornerstones of your body starting to take on some of these things is a lack of control. And I think there's been a pervasive, rightly or wrongly, that's a whole other show, a pervasive sense of, I just thought that things were going to be okay. I thought there was somebody driving. I thought that my doctors would all have the same answers. I thought my churches would all have the same answers. I didn't realize my workplace would just, you're just going to send me home? I'm on the cut list? And I think you're watching the country en masse open your eyes and say, I have to be, the same as Dave's been teaching for years, you have to be responsible for your money. Yeah. You got to know where it's going. I think people are starting to say, I have a role to play in what my day-to-day is going to look like, what my family life is going to look like, where I'm going to live, what my work is going to be. I'm not just going to blindly accept a job, what my health is going to be. I'm getting more questions about relationships and what should I be eating and what's exercise look. Just these basic things that we just put on autopilot for the last 100 years. And people are saying, well, I got to take an ownership role in this.
Yeah.
And this idea that you just got to be in your job for the rest of your life because I just do marketing. That's just what I do. Now people are saying, I'll do something else where I've got some more autonomy and control and peace, and then I feel like I'm contributing.
Yeah. I want to know what you think about this. I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I think the American dream, somewhere along the line, whatever that is, right? But it's really not the American dream, it's the human dream. But I think in modern times, John, I feel like the human dream, the American dream, I think it's been taken hostage and it's turned into a pursuit of stuff and status. Yeah. And I think what the pandemic helped usher in is nothing new. That people in mass are going, it's not about stuff. I was working for stuff and maybe some status. Yeah. I kind of now want to work for significance. What matters to me? So if it is working from home, because I get to see my kids more than I've ever seen them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, whatever the circumstance. Absolutely. I think that's the shift. Yeah. I think it's significance. Even what matters to me.
Yeah, that phrase, pursuit of happiness, as though it's out there and I just got to go get it, versus I'm going to decide to be present and whole wherever I am, and then that car is not going to complete me. That job title isn't going to make me go, after years of trauma and heartbreak, now I'm good because I'm an assistant vice president. That's not how that works.
No, the golf club membership isn't it. I think it's about contribution. Yeah. I don't think, I know. Yeah. It's interesting that you bring up Thomas Jefferson's words, the pursuit of happiness, that we kind of all said in the 4th grade or whatever grade you remember saying it in, the Declaration of Independence. But he was really influenced by John Locke, one of the great thinkers of all time. I'm not going to nerd out and lose all the audience. But I would ask you to go look into some of those folks from the Enlightenment and how they really shaped Jefferson's words, and you touched on it. The pursuit of happiness wasn't about stuff and status. It was about what mattered to you. What was your contribution? That's why I wrote the new book, From Paycheck to Purpose. We're talking about, stop thinking about all of your worth and all of your success tied to your paycheck. Yeah. I mean, we need a paycheck. We need provision. Yeah. No one's dishonoring work here at Ramsey Solutions. We believe in it.
Absolutely.
Okay. What I am saying is I think that's one of the big shifts. I think people have been forced to confront life and the reality of their contribution and what matters most. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. And I think the amount of collective trauma we've experienced over the last 18, 24 months, the collective confusion, the collective disorientation. Yeah. I always go back to neuroscience, and man, we've got some very primitive responses, which is we're going to fight it, and we're going to scream, and we're going to yell, and we're going to throw stuff at each other, and then we're going to run.
The Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation. I think that I'm going to be better over here than I am right here. And some of that's true. Some of that just toxic. You've been putting up with toxic environments, crappy leaders for years. The other side of it is I always want people to slow down for a second because, man, I've said this on this show a number of times. Wherever you go with you. Yep. And if you're not well, if you're not whole, if you don't have good relationships, if you don't have purpose in what you're doing every day internally, you're just going to get that fancy new job and that fancy new town and that new house, and you're going to look in the mirror.
That's exactly right. Listen to what he's saying, folks. Don't jump. Make sure you know what you're leaning towards. Folks, my brand new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, the 7 stages that will lead you to work you love, the work that you were created to do. It's available for pre-order at RamseySolutions.com. We got all kind of goodies to pre-order it now. I'm telling you, you got to be clear before you make any kind of major move like this. Dr. John Maloney is absolutely right. All right, good stuff, Doc. Coming up, more of your questions. Phone lines are lighting up. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey Show continues from our Ramsey Solutions Worldwide headquarters. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. The phone number to jump in on the conversation today is 888-825-5225. Taking your questions about life. Every area you got a question, we're going to do our best to help you out. John joins us now in Tucson, Arizona. John, you're on the Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking our call.
You bet.
We wanted to ask how can we be fair with our 3 children in regard to their inheritance in the future, and yet safeguard our one son against being irresponsible and spending his portion all at once, or don't we treat them all the same? We don't want his inheritance to be a curse.
Talk about the issues that this son's dealing with. What are we worried about?
He has a history of substance abuse, and he is very irresponsible with money. He's constantly refinancing his very old car so he can have more money to spend. He doesn't pay his rent. His landlord lets him coast, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What have your conversations been like with him?
Not very pointed because he gets all depressed.
What is that? What happens when he gets depressed?
It's a poor me.
Yeah.
I'll never get better. I'll never amount to anything. I'm worthless. Yeah, he just shuts down.
Is that a tactic, or is he's got some diagnosable mental illness? He's got some challenges he's worked with through his whole life.
Yeah, he has a diagnosis of bipolar disorder.
Okay.
He doesn't take his meds.
Okay. So I've worked with folks who are prepping wills and having these broader conversations. You know, Dave is actually made this will. And so what I've seen folks where, hey, here's my fortune that's going to go to my kids in this way, and here's my stipulations for it. What I would tell you is do you have a spouse too?
Yeah, she's sitting right here.
Okay. I think backing out of this particular issue, because what you're going to do is you're going to try to reverse engineer it and not make what you believe is not a poor choice on this one part of your will. And I want you to take a much bigger picture view of it first. And that is going to be, what do we want? How do we want to steward the money that we have, the money that we've stewarded? What do we want it to look like when we're gone? And do we want to bless our kids with homes? Do we want to bless our kids with fortune? Do we want to give it away to charity? What do we want to do with that? And I want you and your wife to have that conversation. It's a values conversation. Then the second part of it is, who's going to be the executor? And if you have one child that you're going to call and say, this isn't a call, this is an in-person conversation. Here's what this looks like. I'm going to walk you through my will, but it's a very detailed conversation. We are asking you to do this. And then I think the third thing is not avoiding hard conversations and not avoiding stipulations that you want to put on these hard conversations, because it's your money. And so if it is going to go into a trust and you're going to give one of your children or two of your children guardianship of that trust, and they are going to dole out X number of dollars a year if everybody is healthy, if everybody's continuing to invest in their relationships and their health, whatever you want it to look like, if people aren't using drugs, if they're not addicts, if you're not going to enable them, and whatever you want to do with that money. But it's setting it up in a trust. And the key here is you are open and honest with all of your kids. Because what you don't want to do is dump this on your executor and let them have the hard conversations and deal with the relational ramifications of letting your wishes come true, and that younger sibling is going to hate them. And so it would be a hard conversation that you'll need to have, and that's just part of this. You're the parent here. I would also say this. The tendency is to wring your hands and try to control things from the grave, if you will. At some point, you set up a trust, you set up the values, you have an executor, and you say, here's our wishes for this money. And then you have to open your hands and be at peace, right? And if you set things up in a way that's going to, at the end of the day, you might not be able to protect your son as much as you think you're trying to, right?
Yeah.
How much money are we talking about here?
Well, it's probably $300,000 for each.
For each. Okay. Yeah, that's a substantial sum of money, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to be good stewards. I think I heard Dave say one time, do your giving when you're living so you're knowing where it's going.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, John, Dave has said this multiple times, and John just laid it out for you, but I just reiterate very quickly. You've got to lay out the morality clauses, the stuff that you're saying, son, in order for you to have access to this $300K, this is what your life has got to be like. You can't have this, this, and this. And it's very possible that he straightens up, right, and meets those conditions long after you're gone and gets it, but then could fall backwards. And, so at some point, I really love what Doc told you. You got to have peace. But I would just set it out there, lay it very clearly out there. He's going to have an opportunity to respond, but it is what it is. It's set in stone. It's done. And then you got to let it go.
Everybody's got a different approach to this conversation. The end result is you don't want your money to be used to hurt people, especially those that you love,
Sure.
right? And if you hand an addict $300,000, the chances that could go sideways are great.
Yeah.
I love a in-person conversation way upstream, which might be, I want to see 2 years of you taking your medication, and I want to see 2 years of you going to counseling. In fact, we're going to start helping with some of that right now, and that is going to inform how we do.
Great. I love that too.
That's different than if you ever use drugs, you're out of here. I want to demonstrate, and there's that conversation too. But I want to invest in the wellness. On the front end,
I think it's both and.
It absolutely.
Here's what we're going to do. But long term,
yeah.
But I've got this in place for your brother and sister too.
That's exactly. We're having a conversation with everybody. That's right.
So I'm with you there.
But yeah, set up a trust, and you get to set up the details of the trust, and then get the executor that you can lean on. And if you don't want to use one of your kids, get a family member or an attorney, somebody that you trust. No pun intended. And just make sure everybody's on the same page. Don't have hidden surprises once you pass away. But thanks for being intentional with your money.
Yeah, thanks for the call too. You're a good man. Way to go, John. This is so heavy. I shouldn't even ask it, but I know you can handle the short version of it. It's really, really difficult for a parent who's worried about a child's future behavior, current behavior, whatever. And you get to the point where you've done everything. What's the biggest? I guess what's the biggest impediment to peace outside of, again, the spiritual, conversation? What's the biggest emotional hurdle to truly letting go and going, I've done everything I can do. The kid's going to have to stand up and fly right.
The one is guilt. You
did something wrong.
I should have done this one conversation that one time a little bit different, or that kid's got my genetics, and so it's my fault that whatever the line is. I should have put him in a different school if I had just worked less or worked more. Yeah. And so there's always trying to go back and edit that sentence that's got a period at the end of it. The other side of it is you love that kid, and nobody wants to see their kid hurt.
No, or stand by and watch it.
Oh, man. And as a parents, we want to lean in and fight the fights for them. We want to take those blows for them. Right? I want to run the races for them. I want to do their math homework for them because I don't want them to have to feel that. And at the same time, that's the only way to growth. That's the only way that they can learn the skills that they're going to need to navigate this mess of a world. Right?
So bottom line is there's guilt, and then there's just the parental
It's
instinct.
just love.
You'd rather die a million deaths than watch your kid hurt.
That's right. It is. And they didn't tell us that
no.
when they sent us home from the hospital.
I know. The nurse didn't give me the manual.
They said, good luck with this. It's a cute kid you got there. Good luck.
It's so hard. But it may be the best thing for them. And at that point, it's like I just know there are parents that are listening right now, and they feel like they're at their wits' end.
Well, and what I see some parents do is they take their hands off the wheel.
Yeah.
And they say, best of luck to you. And then some hold that wheel so tight.
Too tight.
And that nobody can breathe.
What's the analogy for the middle ground there?
Find some people that you love, man, and you can say this is hard, and you can weep together.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just get up. Don't stop loving.
That's right.
Great stuff. He is Dr. John Deloney. I'm Ken Coleman. I want to say a big thanks to our producer, James Child, and our associate producer, Kelly Daniel. And you, America, thank you for listening. This is your show. It is The Ramsey Show.
Did you know you can listen to The Ramsey Show on your smart speaker? Just tell Alexa, Google Assistant, or Siri to play The Ramsey Show podcast. Check out all Ramsey Network shows on your smart speaker today.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where Americans hang out to have a conversation about life. We'll talk about money. We'll talk about your relationships, mental health, emotional health. We'll talk about your job, your work. Are you on purpose? We talk about it all. We'll talk about you. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Dr. John Deloney, and we are taking your calls this hour. John, we were just talking during the break, fascinating with all these people wanting to move and change jobs, the great resignation. You were talking about fight or flight. Mm-hmm. Big warning sign. Yeah. Don't jump just because you feel or you're thinking and you're stressed out and you're going, I need change. Right. Slow down, you say.
Yeah, so when you're faced with chaos, you're faced with fear, you're faced with when your alarms start ringing, that you're not safe, you don't know what's coming, man, there's some, we're running on ancient operating systems up top, right? And so our brains are going to try to fight something, and we've seen that for the last 24, 36 months. Everybody yelling at each other and screaming and hollering and whatever. And then you're going to run from it. You're going to flee. And so if you're sitting in your job right now and you're thinking, I got to get out of here. I got to go. I don't have any other plans. I've got $50,000 in student loan debt, but I can't be here. If you're in an abusive situation, absolutely, you got to go.
Yeah.
If you think that simply moving is going to solve this, I want everyone to remember that wherever you go, you go with you.
That's right.
And then the next, you're going to freeze.
Yep.
Is that state of, I'm frozen, right? Well, that sounded dumb. Like that freeze is frozen, right? That was stupid. That was redundant. But it's taking all of your feelings and just shutting it down. That's when your body just says, hey, we're going into neutral here because we can't handle this. And that's next. So everybody slow down. Slow down. And that's what I love what you teach. Get clear about what you're looking for. Go towards something, not away from something.
That's it.
And be clear about what you're looking for, where you want to go. I think the last 24 months has shaken our snow globe collectively.
Big time.
And individually, relationally, everything. And now it's a good moment in history to ask, who do I want to be? What do I want to be?
Yes.
Right?
But don't make the jump, the change, without purpose being in the equation. Yeah. Is it on purpose?
Before you jump off the dock, is that what you say? Before you jump off the dock, make sure there's a boat there.
Oh, yeah. You know, jumping is overrated.
It's kind of fun.
It's fun for fun, but I mean, not big life changes.
No, there's a cost.
So let's be careful. We can walk into it. My point is, we've romanticized the big, I'm leaving, the Jerry Maguire moment. Who's coming with me? He's got the goldfish. Well, let's not do that. All right, let's get to your calls. Randy joins us in Roanoke, Virginia. Randy, how can we help?
Hey, how are you guys?
We're having a blast.
What's up?
I'm doing great. So I own a couple of small businesses, and I still work a full-time job. And me and my wife have talked about it, and we have come to the conclusion that it's time for me to jump ship and do my thing. And I called to get one extra opinion, but it sounds like I'm going to get two. So
Ken's smarter than me, so I may be quiet on this one. This is his world.
Yeah, so sounds like you guys have decided, and you just want two opinions. We'll give them to you. So what are you concerned about? Sounds like you've decided to jump, but you're going, all right, I just want to make sure this isn't wacky. Yeah. So what are you afraid of?
Well, I've got my retirement set. I'm 49 years old. I've got about $550,000 in a Roth 401k.
Nice.
We've saved about $200,000 cash.
Nice.
And everything we own is paid for. And
so you're a millionaire, brother.
Yes, sir. And I can replace my income probably 40 to 50% higher than what I make at my job. But I am leaving, $80,000 behind. So there's a fear of am I really doing the right thing? And I've been able for 10 years to do this. So should I really leave?
Okay, just explain one number to me. What do you mean when you say you're leaving $80,000 behind? You mean the difference between what you're making now with these side businesses versus what your day job's paying you? Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
I don't even think this is a math. Normally, to me, it's always a math number. When I get this call on the Ken Coleman Show, somebody will say, Ken, when's the time to leave? I'll go, when the math is right. When you can move full-time into your business and the budget's stable. We're not struggling. We're not scared out of our minds because we know it's risky. It's just the right time. I think that time is already here, and I think you know that. I don't think you're doing anything wrong by leaving the day job. No, I do not. I think that financially you're in great shape. You have no debt anywhere in your life, and you're going to make a big chunk of what you're already making, and you have enough to live on. And I would ask you this. How long do you think, and this is an estimate, I know, but how long would you estimate before you replace that $80,000 because you're going full-time into your own business?
Yeah, I thought you said you're going to be making more over time.
I will be making more than I make. I would suspect that my businesses will probably do 20 to 30% more immediately, which is me just being there and being involved with them on a day-to-day basis.
So it's a no-brainer.
Oh, so this isn't a math problem. This is a security blanket pacifier question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, just you're scared of a monster under the bed that doesn't exist. The monster's
Randy,
not there.
you need a hug.
Yeah, well.
Randy, I will give you a hug.
Actually, you know what I think Randy needs? I think he needs a high five. Randy's crushed it. Randy, you're debt-free. You're a millionaire. You're a baby steps millionaire. You have built these businesses up on your own. I mean, dude, you're where everybody wants to be. Walk today.
You get to say, take this job and shove it, and I'm going to go make more money. Yes. So what do you need from us? You already know this.
Validation.
Well, you know, I really like what I do, but there are opportunities outside of that to do the works. And I think I called on the right day because, you know, there are things that I would like to do. I just needed somebody else to say, yeah, you guys are going in the right direction. Because there's all kinds of ministry opportunities that we can pursue without having this leash on me.
There is no move you can make, staying or going, that's not going to have a risk to it.
Yep.
So whenever I look at risk, I look at what am I anchored to, what am I chained to, and what is the potential catastrophe here.
Yep.
And you owe nobody anything.
Yes.
You've got $500,000 in tax-free retirement income.
Yep.
You have a paid-for house. So you're chained to essentially nothing. And then you got a $200,000 cushion, plus already established businesses that are going to go up 15 to 30% the day you walk in the door.
There is no catastrophe.
Bye, Felicia.
Dude. Bye. You called for encouragement? Well, we're trying to guilt you into this, man. Hang up the phone. Call your wife. Tell her you're coming home to give her a big smooch and a big hug.
And we're going to dinner.
We're going to dinner, and today's the day I resign and step into the future. I have been planning and working so hard for you. You're a freaking rock star,
Congrats, Randy.
Randy, everybody wants to be like you when they grow up. Embrace it, my man. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, joined by my colleague and fellow Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney. We are part of the Ramsey Network. He is the host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, popular podcast and YouTube show. And I'm host of the Ken Coleman Show. I'm not going to say that my own show is popular, but go check out both shows. We do believe deeply in what we do. We believe we can help you. So we're both thrilled to be here. It just occurred to me, James, I was like, I got to say that nice about my pal, but I'm not going to say that about my own show.
I'm John Deloney, hosting a moderately successful but
Ken
kind
Coleman.
of failing podcast.
I host a very popular, wildly, outrageously popular show. It's just like, come on. Anyway, we're thrilled to be together as we sit here today and take your calls. 888-825-5225. Hey, find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, today's question comes from Robert in Arizona. Robert says, I'm an engineer and I earn about $110,000 a year. I am married with 3 kids and we live close to our parents. We are debt-free except for our mortgage. My employer recently implemented some policies that have very anti-biblical stances, which has made me look for another job. Every company in my field is following the same pattern, so staying in the industry isn't an option. There is a ministry that I really admire, and just for fun, I sent my resume to them because it's been a dream of mine to work there. They offered me a position. However, we'd have to move away from family to a new state, and my salary would be reduced by $45,000 a year. Should I leave my career and family for this opportunity?
All right, so I love these Blinds.com questions because they're always like a giant onion, and we have no recourse.
We get to invent the backstory here.
Yeah, we get to try to figure out what the back and forth would be. I don't think that this is your only option, and so I start there. Sounds like to me that, Robert, you've made the decision. There is no turning back. There's no situation by which you're going to stay in this particular company. I would challenge you to look industry-wide and see if the positions that your company's adopting truly are industry-wide. So let's at least do some homework. Let's know that we know that we know. Now, having said that, I think, John, when I hear this question, I see that there's a very clear ending for him, and he's going, okay, it's time to move on. I can't work here anymore because of values issues.
Yeah.
Okay? But just because you are enamored with, admire this ministry in another state that has a job that pays you significantly less money, doesn't mean it's the only escape hatch.
Right.
And so I want to see you pursue other opportunities, and if you can, quickly, because I know this offer's there, see what else is out there at least. You may not have offers, but let's just see what's out there. Here's my concern. This is a massive cut in pay. Included in this massive cut in pay and income is leaving your family. Those are 2 big hits, John.
Yeah.
There's some emotional and mental stuff that goes with those 2 changes in lifestyle. It's enough to leave and cleave. That has its own issues, right? But then we're going to all of a sudden almost cut our salary in half.
Can I tell you that
if you could do it, do it.
Yeah.
But I just want to see other options first.
Ken, you take these calls all the time.
Yeah.
And I know during the break I was reading this, and I missed this when I read it during the break. How often does somebody have a dream job somewhere, or what they think is a dream job? They're in their engineering job, their actuarial job, their accounting job, their management job, and they have this other lighthouse on a hill somewhere.
Yep.
It's real easy to begin to backfill and demonize and weaponize little things to make them bigger, to give myself permission to go. Does that make sense?
Totally does.
Does that happen?
Happens a lot. Here's why. He's got this values disconnect with his current company. Mm-hmm. So he finds this ministry, which looks like, to your point, a shining city on a hill.
Like he says, like I've just really admired them forever, and it's my dream.
And he thinks it's Shangri-La, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, but wait a second. What do I teach? Well, great that you like that and you think they're great. Is the position that you're looking at in your sweet spot? Mm-hmm. Do you have the talent to pull it off? Does it allow you to use your talent? Mm-hmm. Does it 80% of the job include work that you really get juiced about? Does the job, the results that particular job produce results that matter deeply to you? Mm-hmm. If it's not yes on all 3 of those things, guess what? That ministry that you fell in love with, that you donated to or you watch on television, can become a place of misery.
Absolutely.
In about 6 weeks. So to your point, just because you admire it and it aligns with your values doesn't mean it's a great place to work.
Well, I see this with relationships. When people's marriage is in a tough spot, we've all been there, and then that person at work starts paying attention to you.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
easy to
same
go,
deal.
wait a minute, that's what I'm missing here. And it's not only that, it's because she...
Right.
Man, it's not reality.
No.
Anytime I'm going to make a values-based thing, whether it's anti-biblical, anti-whatever, fill in the blank. Talking about, man, I'm always going to sit down with somebody that I trust, a mentor, and say, am I seeing this right? And in my life, 99% of the time, they've said, Deloney, you're an idiot. No. You're not seeing that right at all, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd sit down and talk to somebody before I packed up and moved across the country.
RamseySolutions.com. We got the Get Clear Career Assessment. John, we created it for this reason.
Yeah.
It's going to measure talent, passion, mission. 15-minute online assessment. Here's what happens. You get a purpose statement. And the purpose statement is going to allow you to look at opportunities like this and truly vet it.
Yeah.
Because wait a second, is it on purpose or not?
Yeah.
Because just because you like it doesn't mean that that's something that you were created to do. So I'm going to throw this back at him and go, all right, you're dropping in biblical values. I'm going to tell you something. I believe you were created to fill a unique role. If this job doesn't allow you to fill that unique role, use the God-given talent to do work that God just fires your soul up about because you just love it. And it creates results that matter deeply. If it doesn't do that, then don't do it. I don't care how awesome you love it.
Yeah, and
it just doesn't matter.
Go towards something.
Yeah.
Go towards something.
We've been talking about this. It's been a theme.
Yeah, go towards something. Don't run from. Yeah, go towards, man. And anyway.
Yeah, let's get to it. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Tony in Orlando, Florida. Tony, how can we help?
Greetings, gentlemen.
Greetings. How are you?
I am well.
Great. How can we help?
So I left my job about the end of May. I'm working part-time, barely making ends meet, but I have no idea what I want to do. I have nothing whatsoever in sight. So looking for a full-time salary position has been extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I was just curious if there's anything out there, any assessments or anything that can at least give me focus on what I want to do.
Okay, so Tony, let's address the immediate.
Okay.
When we put you on hold in a minute, we're going to get you my Get Clear Career Assessment. We'll get you a link and a code, and it's our gift to you. I want you to take it, and it's going to help you see yourself as you've never seen yourself before. It's going to give you all kinds of ideas, okay? And then there'll be some follow-up to where I can help you with that. But let's talk about the fact that you're in a part-time job right now in the hottest job economy in the history of the United States, and you're barely making ends meet. So here's the deal. Today on this phone call, we're not going to try to figure out the dream job. What we are going to look at is talent only. Now, if you, Tony, introduced me to all the people that know you well, and I hung out with all of them for about 3 days, and I just spent time with a pencil and paper, and I said, tell me what Tony does best. They would tell me what you're talented at. People skills, hard skills, soft skills, the whole 9 yards, character traits, everything. Okay? That's what I want you focused on. Because those are the tools that you can use right now to go get yourself a good paying day job. Hear me say day job. You hear me? And then I want you to take the Get Clear Career Assessment. You can call me on the Ken Coleman Show. We'll dive deep with your results. It's going to show you what you're most talented at. It'll verify what your friends are going to tell you. It's going to tell you the kind of work you really love. It's going to tell you the results that you are driven by, and then it'll show you professional possibilities, and then you can go do research. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to find 5 of your closest friends and family members who will tell you the truth. And I want you to all create a list of what you do best. And then I want you to go look for a day job where you know you can actually do a really good job because you've got the talent. Because we need a full-time job for you, Tony. We got to get stable financially. Hang on the line. We're going to get you in Ramsey Plus as well so you can get a budget going and begin to get your financial life stable as we begin to figure out what your professional purpose looks like. Thank you so much for the call. You got this. There's so much value in you. Believe it. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. America, thrilled to have you with us. 888-825-5225. I am Ramsey personality Ken Coleman, joined by Ramsey personality Dr. John Deloney. We are here taking your calls this hour. It is a free call. We'd love to hear from you. And Doc, I look through the window here of the studio and I see someone on the debt-free stage. It is Luke from Albany, New York. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So here to do a debt-free scream.
That's right. Yeah, it feels a little surreal.
Okay. All right. How much did you pay off, Luke?
I paid off $34,128.67.
Oh, my goodness. All the way down to this. I love that. How long did it take you?
It took me a year and 3 months.
A year and 3 months. All right. And what was your range of income?
I started at about like 34 and then got up to 42.
Okay, 34 to 42. What do you do?
Whoa, you crushed this then.
I work at a adult day-hab program for people with special needs.
Good for you.
And I did that, and then I picked up part-time job and a couple more side gigs along the way.
Okay, nice. So that's a $8,000 bump there. That gazelle intensity led you to do that. That's really awesome.
Did you sell some stuff? That's a lot of money. That's basically your salary you paid off in that short period of time.
I tried to sell some stuff on eBay, and that failed miserably. So I didn't sell anything, but I had just graduated in 2019.
Okay.
So out of college at my parents'. So
you didn't have a lot of expenses.
No.
You are the dream graduate who just sucks it up for 1 year, doesn't buy a bunch of new crap, and just pays it off. Good for you.
Yeah, awesome stuff. What was the debt?
All student loans.
All student loans.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So you just got after it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I don't like the sound of this.
Yeah. Oh, I hated it.
Yeah. So what was that moment? What led to it? What's the backstory to 15 months ago where you go, I'm getting out of debt?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I started at my first full-time job in November of 2019, and then in January, I was checking the website for student loans to see how much I had, and it was just a moment where you get so angry you're spending hundreds of dollars, just the minimum payments back then, because I was, way less than Ramsey-ish at the moment. And you see how little it goes towards principal, and I just thought to myself, I can't spend 10, 15, 20 years making these payments and being a slave to these people.
So what'd you do?
So at the very beginning, I was resistant to budgeting, and when my sister mentioned it to me, I laughed it off because I thought it was something that restricted me, and I didn't know that it gave me permission, and it felt like a raise, like what you guys say. And so in January, I was just throwing a chunk of money at it every month, maybe 500, 600, and I didn't really have a detailed budget. And then probably towards spring, summer months, I got really intense, and by then it was 10% tithe, and then 85, 90% towards the student loans, and I would celebrate every $1,000 celebration moment with $3.21 at McDonald's, and then just move on to the next Friday, and just be expectant and be excited to keep making progress.
That's incredible, man.
I love that.
What an absolute stud. How was, at some point, maybe month 7, when you're hanging out with mom and dad again on a Friday or Saturday night, that had to be a beating. Even when they're like, hey, why don't you go hang out with other people because we're done talking to you. Like,
well, John, his mom and dad might be cool.
Probably not.
Okay.
They're cool. They're saying, we didn't anticipate our son coming back. How did you keep the drive up? Right? Because, man, after a couple of months, you can white-knuckle this thing for a couple of months, but there had to have been a temptation, like, I'm just going to get my own apartment. I can slow down a little bit. But you kept going and kept going and kept going.
Yeah, I could have moved into an apartment above my brother's house, but I didn't want to move there and then slow down at all. So I wanted to buckle down, and to keep me motivated, the part-time job that I did was overnights on the weekends. So I'd work Monday through Friday, and then Friday and Saturday night. And Saturday night, right after work, after the 11:30 to 8 a.m. shift, go to church, lead worship, eat a fantastic lunch by my cool mother, and then
very nice.
And then fall asleep for a couple hours, wake up, and then do it all over again.
So before we go forward, there's a lot of people that are rice and beans and rice right now, and they want to know for $3.21 what the treat was at McDonald's. I know I want to know. What was it? Was it the same thing?
A lot of times it was the same thing. I'm a big eater, so you learn how to stretch those.
Yeah, I want to know. What'd you have?
I would get 2 McChickens, large Dr. Pepper, a lot of refills, and then I had the receipt for the free Big Mac. So turned that in each time, did the code.
All right, now listen, that was his motivation. I love that right there. 2 McChickens and a Big Mac for hustling all week long. I love it.
And this year, you're going to be in the gym working off last year's celebration, which is going to be incredible.
Yeah. All right, no judgment, John. No judgment.
So,
I think that's fantastic.
Have you had the experience yet? Have you had your paycheck deposit into your account and you got no bills?
I have, yeah.
Feels good, huh?
Oh, it feels great. Yeah, because I paid off my loans on Easter Sunday. Initially, I had planned to do it by my birthday, and then it just kept moving up and up. And so I paid off my loans, and then it is crazy because when I was, baby step 2, I was so intense. I would wait till midnight on Friday night, instantly make my budget, and then instantly have like $900, $1,000 to put towards the loans. So now I forgot the question.
That's all right. Hey, tell folks real quick, what is the key to making it through this debt-free journey from your experience? What's the key?
One of the big things for me was when I took the part-time job, all the exhaustion and being tired all the time, it was to have the right perspective. And you guys gave that to me. I'm reminded of the verse, every good gift comes down from the Father above. So even the tough shifts, they're a blessing too, because they provide the money to get out of the debt. And the other verse, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. So if you're doing something, if you're in a painful process, if you're tired, that usually means you're doing the right thing, and it won't last for long, and I've experienced that too. So now I got baby step 3 completed as well.
Wow, very cool.
Way to go.
Who was your biggest cheerleader?
My mom and dad, big cheerleaders. My dad would always send me a text when I was going to the overnight.
Nice.
Proud of you, keep going. Another $100 off the debt.
I love
it. My mom...
And is that mom with you here today in the lobby?
It is,
Okay, fantastic. Way to go, Mom.
Yeah, my mom would encourage me to stick to the plan when I was so close and I wanted to take money out of baby step 1 because I hated the debt.
Yeah.
But she told me just stick to the plan.
Stay in there.
Love it.
And
all
then
right.
I also had, we took Financial Peace University at our church. I talked to my mom and dad, and then we had another couple joined our church, so then they did Financial Peace University, and a bunch of people from church got involved to the Shavers, so they encouraged me in the soda.
Awesome. Great community there. Well, I got to tell you something. We're proud of you, young man, and the sky's the limit for you. You're off and running. You're a future millionaire. You're going to make a huge impact, and it's so obvious to all of us. So here we go. Luke from Albany, New York, paid off $34,000 in 15 months, making $34,000 to $42,000. Luke, let's hear your debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
Whoa! There it is. How about that? Quiet, soft-spoken, disciplined Luke just went into Hulk mode.
Well, there's some rage in there. Those 2 loans will bring it out of you.
And all those McChicken sandwiches, too. Got to be some bad proteins in there. I don't know. We'll check it out. We'll check out that on the commercial break. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. Thrilled to have you with us. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. Today's scripture: the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. All who follow his precepts have good understanding. To him belongs eternal praise. That's Psalm 111, verse 10. Our quote today comes from Oliver Wendell Holmes. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. All right, let's go to Tim, who joins us on the line in Boston, Massachusetts. Tim, how can we help?
Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, thank you for your time. Well, I'm going to get straight to the point here. I am 29 years old. I paid off the last of my 4-year degree early in 2020 after 5 years and 5 months of extreme budgeting. Thank you. And I'm thinking about going back to school, specifically, in this case, law school, and I was hoping to get opinions.
Okay. Why law school? What's the reason for going?
Something I've been thinking about doing for 5 years now. I'm a firm believer that everybody should advance themselves in some way every single day, mentally, physically, career-wise, you name it. And I see it as an opportunity to advance my own career, build generational wealth, because my older sister, younger brother just had their first children, and it really does change your perspective on everything.
Okay, so hold on one second. Let's pause there. Advance your career in what way? Are you already considering a legal career, or is this new idea and I'm just going to do it because being a lawyer is going to... I'm just curious how it's advancing your career. What's the big picture?
I currently work in IT.
Okay.
And people I know have gone to law school, and they said being a lawyer is great. A good friend of mine works in a gigantic law firm out of Boston. And, well, I think it's a good idea to advance my career because ironically, even though I work in IT, I have a fear that I'm going to get replaced by a robot in 10 years.
Well, hold on one second, Tim. What do you do in IT?
I work in the call center. I do level 1.
Okay.
IT support.
Do you generally like IT work? How much enjoyment do you have around IT subjects, types of work? Have you wondered about an IT career? I'm just curious.
Yes, I do like what I do. I always say I love and I hate the fact that it's always changing.
Yeah. Well,
5 years from now, who knows what we'll be doing because we didn't know what we were doing 5 years ago.
Absolutely right. But the chances of you being replaced by a robot in technology are very slim. I think technology is the hottest industry there is. It's an industry in and of itself, in that whether it's the nonprofit world, the ministry world, the medical world, big business, whatever, big education, there are technology jobs everywhere with cybersecurity as the next new frontier of threat around the world. Technology is not going anywhere. Here's the challenge that I have based on what you've said so far. The only answer I've heard, and you've said it basically twice, is that the reason you're looking at a law degree is to further your career and make more money. There's no mention of loving litigation, loving advocating for those. I look at a lawyer. Now, there's a lot of things. I've got a good friend, John and I share a very good friend, who's an employment lawyer, world class. That's a path to being a judge. I mean, legal counsel and being a lawyer certainly is a lucrative career. However, it's also a lot of money. You just spent 5 years, your words, extreme budgeting, paying off your first degree. I hear no love of the work, but I don't want to make this too philosophical for you. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to actually spend some time with some lawyers. Have you had a conversation with any actual lawyers and talked about their day-to-day work to where you have a pretty good idea which direction you would go in the legal field?
Yes, I have, actually.
Which direction would you go?
I've been told that because of my background in IT, that IP law would be a good direction.
Okay. Have you spent time with an IP lawyer or 2 or 3?
No.
That's what I want you to do. You've got to check this stuff out, or else you're going to get invested in something that is very expensive. And again, all I'm hearing is good career versus I hear that you really enjoy technology. And I got to tell you, I would want you to weigh side by side with what I've already told you to do. John, I'll let you weigh in here in just a second. But I also want you to look at what a future in technology looks like. What's a ladder in technology that would allow you to do work you really, really love and be pretty fired up about the results, not just choosing law because of the financial benefits.
Tim, I spent 5 years as a senior administrator in a law school, and I've researched law student mental health and attorney mental health and folks who work with attorneys. And here's what I'll tell you. If you have a fire in your belly to be a writer, if you have a fire in your belly to be in service to the least of these in our communities, to fight, to advocate. If you have a fire in your belly to put on a suit and go to war as an assassin every day, that's the field for you. 100% of the people that I met and that I worked with who went to law school to, quote unquote, just make some money were miserable. Because the cost of law school, not financially, the emotional, psychological, spiritual toll of law school, it is hard. It trains you how to see the world in a different way that you can never unsee it. Ken is exactly right. You've got to spend some time with some IP lawyers and not like I know a guy who go spend some time with some IP lawyers who've been doing this for a decade. Not someone who just quit being an IT exec and now is now making some money at a big firm in Boston. Go ask some folks who've been through the ups and the downs and the massive transitions in the legal profession over the last few years. And also sit down and ask yourself, what do you want to do? Not, I'm going to chase something and invest a whole bunch more money so that I can improve my career. What do you want to do, man? Yeah. Ask yourself that question.
Yeah, and I think what's going to head this off, John, Tim, here's the deal. Please do this. When you talk to lawyers that are in that field, that particular persuasion of law, okay, you find out what a day looks like, a week and a month and a year. And John, here's what you and I believe. You and I believe passionately about this, that the head and the heart work together beautifully to give us confirmation. Yeah. We make things a big, giant mystery. And here's the deal. You spend some time with some lawyers that are in that IP field and all that kind of stuff, and they start telling you all this stuff. Your head's gathering information, right? Mm-hmm. This wonderful, beautiful brain we've got is the world's greatest computer. It sifts information and logic kicks in. And then the heart gets all that information and it goes ding, 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 or the Family Feud X. Yeah.
Or
that's why I tell you.
What does a day look like, right?
That's what I'm saying. You can't go to law school for something if you don't. You can. Yeah. So you shouldn't ever make a major financial or educational commitment without sitting with people that do what you do. That's why I wrote the proximity principle. I wanted to demystify getting this idea in my head of how do I get connected? How do I figure it out? And part of the proximity principle isn't about connections. It's just about clarify, verify. I got to get clear.
What do you want to do?
And then you go, well, do I want to do that? I think I want to do that. But then when I find out about it, I might go, oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Most people have no idea.
No clue what's involved.
How hard being a lawyer is.
Yeah.
What it does to your soul, what the actual job looks like. Very few people know what that's like. You got to go talk to them.
Got to find out.
Every single student that came into school and said, I want to go do this because I want to serve here. I want to help here. I love the fight. I love the grind. I love writing. They are extraordinary. I'm still in contact with a lot of them. I was with one this weekend, right? She came to an event I did. Those who just said, I just want to go get rich.
Yep.
Or I just want to go. Yep. And this isn't just law, by the way. This is
any career. See, I heard nothing in there to say, you know what? I've always been an advocate.
Yeah.
And I want to be a lawyer because I want to fight for people.
Mm-hmm. Or I'm an incredible writer. I want to just, or
I want to move the hearts and minds of people.
I want to mine the world for more IP stuff.
Yeah,
right. That's.
I didn't hear any of that. No. It was just, I've seen my friends have kids. It's waking me up to the fact I need more money. Wrong answer.
That's exactly right.
Appreciate the call. All right, I want to thank my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. Always fun hanging out with you, pal. I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer and call screener, Kelly Daniel, and of course, you, America. Thank you for listening. This is The Ramsey Show.
it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.